than their entire business empire. But first, Kate had to read the words that would change everything. Kate's father had died when she was 12 years old, and she had always believed he was just a regular working man who had struggled financially throughout his life. Her mother had raised her alone after his death, working multiple jobs to pay for basic necessities and never mentioning any family wealth or inheritance that might be waiting for Kate in the future. The letter in her shaking hands was about to shatter everything Kate thought she knew about her family's history and her own identity. The letter was dated just 3 months before her father's death, written in his careful handwriting on expensive stationery that Kate had never seen before. It began with an apology that immediately made Kate's heart race with anticipation and confusion. Her father apologized for keeping secrets from her, explaining that he had made decisions about her upbringing that were meant to protect her, but had also kept her from knowing the truth about her family's background and financial situation. Kate's father revealed that he came from a wealthy family that had made their fortune in shipping and international trade over several generations. The family business had been worth hundreds of millions of dollars, with investments and properties scattered across multiple countries and industries. But Kate's father had walked away from all of it when he was young, choosing to live a simple life rather than participate in what he saw as his family's corrupt and morally questionable business practices. He had fallen in love with Kate's mother, a woman his family considered beneath their social status because she came from a working-class background and didn't have the connections or education they valued in potential family members. When Kate's father refused to end the relationship and marry someone his family had chosen for him, they threatened to disown him completely and remove him from all inheritance considerations. Kate's father had chosen love over money, walking away from his family's fortune to build a life with the woman he wanted to marry. He worked regular jobs and lived modestly, never telling Kate's mother about the wealth he had given up or the family legacy he had rejected. He wanted to raise Kate with values that emphasized hard work, kindness, and personal integrity rather than the pursuit of money and social status that had corrupted his own family. But Kate's grandfather had apparently regretted the family's treatment of his son after Kate's father died. The letter explained that Kate's grandfather had created a trust fund in Kate's name, designed to provide for her future while honoring his son's choice to live according to different values than the rest of their family. The trust had been growing with investments and compound interest for over 15 years, waiting for Kate to reach the age of 25 or face significant financial hardship that would trigger its release. Kate read the letter 3 times before the information fully registered in her mind. According to her father's careful explanation, she was the sole beneficiary of a trust fund that was now worth approximately $47 million. The money had been sitting in investment accounts and real estate holdings, managed by a law firm in New York City, waiting for her to discover her father's letter and claim her inheritance. The letter included contact information for the law firm and detailed instructions about how Kate could verify her identity and access the trust fund. Her father had even included copies of legal documents and account numbers that would be needed to prove her claim to the inheritance. He had thought of everything, preparing for a day when Kate might need the financial security that her family's wealth could provide. Kate sat on her apartment floor in complete shock, surrounded by the contents of her grandmother's jewelry box and holding papers that represented more money than she could have imagined in her wildest dreams. The woman that Tom and his family had treated like worthless trash was actually wealthier than their entire business empire. The kindergarten teacher they had mocked for her low salary had access to more money than Richard Harrison had made in his entire career building shopping centers and office complexes. The irony was almost too perfect to believe. Kate had spent years trying to prove herself worthy of acceptance from a family that was nowhere near as wealthy or successful as they pretended to be. She had sacrificed her career, her friendships, and her self-respect trying to earn approval from people who were actually far beneath her in terms of financial status and family background. The Harrisons had treated her like she was lucky to be associated with their small-time real estate business, never knowing that she had inherited more money than they could make in several lifetimes. Kate's first instinct was to call the law firm immediately and begin the process of claiming her inheritance, but then she realized it was nearly 3 a.m. and she should probably wait until normal business hours. Instead, she spent the rest of the night planning exactly how she was going to use this incredible reversal of fortune to get justice for everything the Harrison family had put her through. The next morning, Kate called the law firm and spoke with the senior partner who had been managing her trust fund for over 15 years. He confirmed everything her father's letter had explained and more. The trust fund had actually grown to $52 million through careful investments and real estate appreciation. Kate could access the money immediately upon providing proper identification and completing some basic legal paperwork. The lawyer explained that Kate's grandfather had included specific instructions about how the money should be used. The trust was designed to provide Kate with complete financial independence and the ability to pursue whatever career or lifestyle made her happy. There were no restrictions on how she could spend the money, but her grandfather had expressed hope that Kate would use her wealth to help other people and make positive contributions to her community. Within a week, Kate had completed all the necessary paperwork and gained full access to her inheritance. She opened new bank accounts, hired her own team of financial advisors and lawyers, and began planning her new life as an independently wealthy woman who never had to worry about money again. The transformation was immediate and intoxicating. For the first time in years, Kate felt truly free to be herself without worrying about other people's opinions or expectations. But Kate wasn't interested in just enjoying her newfound wealth privately. She wanted everyone who had treated her terribly to know exactly what they had lost when they decided she wasn't worth their respect or consideration. She wanted Tom and his family to understand that their rejection and abuse had cost them access to more money than they had ever dreamed of having. Kate started by quitting her desperate job search and enrolling in a luxury spa retreat program, spending 2 weeks getting pampered and regaining her physical and emotional health after months of stress and depression. She hired a personal stylist and bought an entirely new wardrobe of designer clothes that made her feel confident and powerful. She leased a beautiful apartment in the most expensive part of town and furnished it with artwork and furniture that reflected her personal taste rather than someone else's expectations. Then Kate began her carefully planned campaign of strategic revenge against the Harrison family. She started by researching their business operations and financial situation, using her new resources to hire private investigators and business analysts who could provide detailed information about the family's assets, debts, and recent business performance. What she discovered was even more satisfying than she had hoped. The Harrison family business was actually struggling financially, operating with significant debt, and facing several major lawsuits from contractors and investors who had been cheated or misled in recent deals. Richard's aggressive expansion strategy had put the company at risk, and they were desperately looking for new sources of capital to avoid potential bankruptcy. The successful, wealthy family that had looked down on Kate's modest teacher salary was actually teetering on the edge of financial collapse. Kate realized she was in a perfect position to buy the Harrison family business entirely, becoming their boss and having complete control over their financial future. But she wanted to be more creative with her revenge than simply taking over their company. She wanted them to understand exactly what they had lost when they decided to treat her like she was beneath their consideration. Kate decided to start her revenge campaign by making anonymous donations to causes that would embarrass the Harrison family while highlighting their hypocrisy and selfishness. She donated $500,000 to the elementary school where she used to teach, funding new programs and facilities that would be named in honor of excellent educators who made meaningful contributions to children's lives. The local newspaper covered the story extensively, praising the anonymous donor's commitment to supporting education and teachers. She donated another $1 million to a scholarship fund for students from working-class families who wanted to pursue careers in education, social work, and other service professions that prioritized helping people over making money. The scholarship program was specifically designed to support students who demonstrated character, kindness, and dedication to improving their communities rather than just achieving financial success. Kate also made strategic investments in properties and businesses throughout the city, becoming a significant economic force in the local community while maintaining her anonymity through shell corporations and legal representatives. She was building a network of influence and resources that would eventually allow her to control important aspects of the Harrison family's business environment without them knowing she was behind their changing circumstances. But the most satisfying part of Kate's revenge plan was still to come. She wanted Tom and his family to see her transformation with their own eyes, to understand what they had given up when they decided she wasn't worth keeping around. She wanted them to realize that the woman they had treated like garbage was actually the most valuable thing that had ever entered their lives. Kate planned a grand revelation that would expose the Harrison family's cruelty while demonstrating her own transformation from victim to victor. She was going to show up at their next major social event looking absolutely stunning, accompanied by evidence of her wealth and success, and watch their faces when they realized what they had lost through their own stupidity and arrogance. The annual Harrison Family Charity Gala was coming up in 6 weeks, a fancy fundraising event where they pretended to care about helping people while actually just networking with other business owners and showing off their supposed wealth and social status. Kate had attended the event as Tom's wife for 2 years, feeling uncomfortable and out of place while watching his family perform their act of charitable generosity for public recognition and tax benefits. This year, Kate was going to attend the gala as the anonymous donor who had been supporting local education and community programs, revealing her identity at the perfect moment to maximize the Harrison family's shock and humiliation. She was going to prove that real wealth and class had nothing to do with treating other people badly or judging them based on their bank account balances. The transformation was about to be complete, and the Harrison family was about to learn the most expensive lesson of their lives. The night of the Harrison Family Charity Gala arrived with perfect timing, just as Kate had finished all her preparations for the most satisfying moment of revenge anyone could imagine. She had spent weeks getting ready for this evening, working with the best stylists, designers, and image consultants that money could buy to create a transformation that would leave everyone speechless when they saw what she had become. Kate arrived at the luxury hotel ballroom in a chauffeur-driven Bentley, wearing a custom-designed evening gown that cost more than Tom's monthly salary and jewelry that sparkled with diamonds worth more than the Harrison family's annual profits. She looked like a completely different person from the insecure woman who had tried desperately